everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Elevensies, the late morning show with Lisa and Anton. I'm Anton.
And I'm Lisa. And I think most people are going to be late to the show today.
Oh, God, yeah, because they're probably going, hang on, man, it's still 10 o'clock,
It's 10 o'clock. My body clock is all messed up.
I love that. Was it Cherokee quote? If I'm misappropriating this, I apologise profusely. Was it, only white man would think that you can cut a foot off the bottom of a blanket, stitch it on the top, and make a longer day?
Make a longer blanket.
A longer blanket. You know what I mean. Let's go.
Well, it was almost right.
Let's see if anything's happening here, because I still think, even though there's a new version of Livestream Studio, it's lying like a cheap watch. So let's have a look.
It's definitely a Monday, I'll tell you.
Oh, well, there's somebody here, but it doesn't say there. So we'll stay here then, because obviously the new and improved version still doesn't fix the bug. Never mind, such is
Anyway.
life. If you're watching us, say hello to
It's
Wendy.
Wendy. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
All right. So what's coming up this week? What's coming up in the stars? Well, we usually talk about the moon on Elevensies because it's a Monday.
Moon
Is a
day.
moon day. So
How about
on the 18th, we have the Virgo full moon. And then we have also the vernal equinox coming up, which is important in our tradition.
Oh, yes.
And it's on the 21st this year.
It is.
That's when we reach 0 degrees Aries.
It's the official start of the astrological year.
So that's where we get the April Fools from. I don't know if you know that.
I do, as it happens. We can talk about that. We've been known to talk about that in our Craft of the Wise class. Shameless plug.
But anyway, so the Virgo full moon is Virgo's an earth sign. So it's a great time to prepare seeds or start to prepare some small spaces in the garden, maybe plant vegetables that need longer times. Inside, start your tomatoes, things like that. So the Virgo full moon is a really great time to do that. And it's interesting to note that the fertility energy of Ostara, we call the spring equinox. Some people call it Ostara, some people call it Eostra, and
we know it as Alban
we
Isler.
know it in Welsh as Alban Isler, but they all have relations to the root word of like estrogen.
It all comes from the same place.
Yeah. So it's a very fertile time of year. And, you know, if we do kind of watch what's going on outside our window, if we have time to look outside, we can see that things are starting to get warmer. And,
Well, apart from the big dumping of white stuff we got at the weekend.
My dad used to call this springtime snow poor man's manure.
Right.
Right, so to prepare your garden, that's what's
It's going to melt pretty quickly.
Yeah. So in Welsh mythology, they didn't have Virgo the Virgin and Libra the Scales, which we could both kind of relate to fertility and harvest kind of energy, right? They had a constellation that was kind of a combination of those two constellations called Higadarn, and it was the guy with his plow.
Oh, hey, agriculture, right?
It was agriculture, yeah. So we can see that coming up, that's kind of what we're focused on. And I also think that we could use a little bit of a reset to think about our own potential, right? If we think about the seeds, we can see that they don't really need to be told what they're going to be.
No, I got a pretty good idea all by themselves.
You know, if we were out for a walk and we found a little acorn, we would have no idea, if we found it and we didn't know, we would have as people no idea that that acorn had the potential to be a giant oak tree. But the acorn knows. And this is how we get this amazing information, right? Like this, the squirrel can pick up the acorn and take it way out of the forest where nobody would even recognize that there
Put
are
it in
trees.
your plant pot on your deck.
And plant it, and it knows it's going to become an oak tree. So I think that a lot of us have become very disconnected, not just from nature, but from ourselves, especially these past couple of years.
Yes,
We just passed the 2-year mark of complete and utter strangeness. And there are some very difficult things going on and happening in the world now.
Tell me about
As well. But I think it would be a great idea if you were going to do some work for the Virgo full moon to kind of pay attention to detail, because that's what Virgos do.
They do.
And go inside and think about what your hidden potential is. What have you been kind of holding back on or holding inside or not recognizing throughout the dark time? And what seeds do you want to plant personally for your potential to grow? What's this say here?
Well, lots of people saying good morning and all that fun stuff.
That's so interesting. I had no clue they were combined together. Oh, Higadarn. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Miranda.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what that was, because we haven't replied to Miranda. Hello, Miranda. Hello, Michelle. Yes. I don't know, because there's such a delay. It's hard to work out what somebody's actually commenting on.
Well, I would have thought she was commenting on the...
I think so, but I don't know. Anyway, yes. Good morning, Gilda. Yes, people are starting to find us now. So it's a wonderful time, isn't it? It's
is.
like there's a time of promise.
Yeah, there's kind of like that quickening energy that you start feeling at Imbolc, which is Groundhog Day in the Christian calendar, or the Muggle calendar, or whatever you want to call it. But I think it's very fascinating. People really don't realize how much the full moons and the equinoxes are still part of modern calendars for things, In fact, a lot of people don't realize the reason that Easter Sunday moves every year is because that is calculated as the Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox.
It's true.
So the equinox is the 21st, the following full moon is the Libra full moon, and then we have Easter.
It's very true, very true.
But I think this time of year really is about unlocking potential. And then a lot of people have said to us, well, I don't get it. It's Pisces right now. If I was born today, I'd have my friends that are born, they're all Pisces this time of year. What are you talking about, Virgo full moon? Well, when the moon is new, it's new in the same sign as the sun is in, the same constellation, the same sign. But when the moon is full, she's full directly across the way. So Virgo and Pisces are opposite signs. So Virgo, again, is the Virgin, you could look at it as the Mother Mary if you wanted to, or however you want to see that constellation. But the place where the seed is to be planted, right? The seed of potential is to be planted. Isn't that an interesting thought? All right.
Makes you think about boots and the feet in the Virgin's lap and all that fun
that
stuff.
kind of stuff. There's an awful lot to Celtic mythology, but I don't think I really
it's
get
all in
into
the stars, astrologus.
And I think that the Aries Libra, this is one we usually point out when we're talking in our classes about the wheel of the year and the cycles of the moon and the sun and the holy days. This time of year, spring, Libra, full moon. Well, okay. You can see the colors of Libra. Libra's colors are pastels. So you get to start seeing that in the spring flowers, all these beautiful, bright
crocuses, and even the colour of Easter eggs to a degree.
Easter eggs, yes.
And
tulips,
sort of like little
right?
pastel sort of thing.
Yeah. And then in the fall, when it's the Libra time of year near the autumn equinox, right? It's the Aries full moon, and we can see the fiery energy of Aries in the autumn leaves. So if we pay attention to nature, and start to link ourselves up with nature and start to understand these cycles, I think it would be a lot easier for us to unlock our own potential because we are part of nature.
Well, as a lot of astrologers actually say, there's only 6 signs and their reflections, and but which is which? Which is reflection, which is the original?
Who's the nocturnal? Who's the diurnal?
I love it. I love the way things are so perfectly mirrored across the wheel of the year. And so when we get to the equinox, and that's a word in itself that says so much, equinox, it's equal night, equal day, equal night, nox night, lux light. So equal night, equal day, equinox, And as a dead giveaway, because equinox, it's over the equator. The sun is directly overhead the equator at the equinox. And if you were on the Greenwich Meridian at that time, just for argument's sake, and not allowing for daylight savings time and all this fun stuff, at the equinox, the sun would rise at 6 a.m. and would set at 6 p.m. And, we would have night from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following day. So exactly 12 hours of daylight and exactly 12 hours of and the wheel, the clock would be divided perfectly in 4 kind of thing. You know what I mean? Perfect. Noon would be noon. Midnight would be midnight. So that's exactly it. But perfect time. So equinox it's a wonderful time. It's where the light really overcomes the darkness, and I think there's such a signal now. This is where the animals instinctively know it's okay to start giving birth and that kind of thing. So
Hens
that's why
will start recognizing and laying eggs.
So the proliferation of eggs that we see around Easter, is why you have these Easter eggs.
That makes sense. I wondered why there were eggs.
Well, here's another little interesting thing that a lot of people don't realize, which is kind of fun. So obviously, as we, when we were, transitioning really from sort of hunter-gatherers into an agricultural society, and starting to build, communities and hill forts and all that sort of stuff. Part of that, there's an enforced confinement over winter. We lived far more in step with nature than we do now. We have artificial heat and light, and we can cool our house when it's too hot. We can heat it when it's too cold. We've got so much light in here, it's ridiculous, so you can see us, But you would have to make do with what you've got. And so obviously over the winter, rations get short, it's hard to survive. And so suddenly the birds start laying. There's a plentiful supply of nutrition now that's available if you go look for it. Would you know that could well be the start of the old Easter egg hunt there, couldn't it? Hey? And into even the word Easter, east.
Estrogen.
Ostar, Ost is German for east, And the sun rises directly in the east at the equinox. It rises directly in the east. So that's where you kind of get these tie-ins. And as Lisa says, Easter itself is the first Sunday. That was a Freudian slip. The first Sunday following the first full moon following the equinox. So, you may be Christian, but you also follow the cycles of the sun. You truly do. He is risen from the dead of winter.
The S-U-N transformed into the S-O-N, I suppose.
Well, mythology. That's, it's the story of the
god is the sun, and the goddess is the moon.
Mm-hmm.
With no vessel, you are not going to have a birth.
Where would man be without women? Mighty scarce, I think, is the...
Where would women be without man?
Well, you kind of still need us, so let's just
once you
just
figured
work
that
together.
out, it became a really big deal, let me tell you. Once you figured out we needed you. But, so I think it's a great time coming up for charging crystals as well. If there are people who want to kind of get a reset for everything. We've heard spring cleaning, and traditionally we would start to do that between these 2 Sabbats, between Imbolc, Gualmer, which is the beginning of February, and the equinox. That's considered our, birth of spring and our quickening, and that's when we'd start our spring cleaning. is you have the Leo full moon in there, and it's kind of known as the barren moon. But that's a great time to clean out the sheds and clean out closets and
Start to get your
and
ducks
start
in a
to
row.
get things reset. So now is also a great time to charge things up for their potential. So you could give your seeds a bath in the full moonlight if you wanted to.
Hey,
Bathe
how
them
about
in
that?
light. You could do the same thing for crystals. You could put them out under the full moon that's coming. You yourself could do a cleansing and a clearing and a reset. But it's just a great time to try to get in touch with the hidden potential, right?
Yes.
And remembering what you're supposed to be and who you are and what's the best way forward. You know, this year, 2022 has to make up for 20 and 21. So it's like a triple quickening because we've been held down and isolated, and you know, I think people have just been programmed to think that that the other people are the enemy now. You know, we've been worried so long that person could get me sick, or you know, that person has a different belief system, or that person is the enemy because of their politics and all that kind of thing. And I think we kind of need now to reset and start to work together and start to recognize our own potential again.
Here, I agree totally. I mean, if you think of the analogy of a seed, and this we do speak about, and we certainly do, that's one of the very first things we do in a ritual. There's a seed to blossom and back to seed kind of meditation as part and parcel of the introduction to the craft of wise, to try and get people into the idea of this cycle of things. And yes, growth, you have to break through the confines of the prison of the seed. And that does expose you to a great deal of vulnerability. But it is now a time for growth. It is a time for us to exit our prison. It is a time for us to start to poke up into the light. And yes, it is a time of great vulnerability. But we have to look back and we have to understand, you know, that we are all the same race, okay? We are all brothers and sisters. And we've been conditioned, and I think it's easy to see looking back because hindsight is always 2020. We've been conditioned to be fearful of each other. There's been a concerted effort to divide and conquer. And I don't know, I really, the words of Bran, Bendigeidvran, is really banging home to me now, which is Avo ben bid bond, you know. He would be a leader, must first be a bridge. There's been too many leaders trying to divide and conquer.
Well, it's interesting because we're also in the Alder lunation in the Celtic lunar zodiac. And Bran is associated strongly
with Alder.
In fact,
In the Battle of the Trees.
his nephew Gwern is
named
Alder.
Alder. Yeah, that's the Welsh word for Alder.
So yeah, in the Battle of the Trees.
You could tell by his shield. I know by your shield that you're Bran because you're carrying an Alder shield. Yeah, and such a protective thing. I mean, that was he saved his sister between his shoulder and his shield. So very protective. And so I know
But he's
maybe
also
we'll
a
be
bridge to
focusing
try
on,
to
yes,
bring together
bring together.
Right when Ireland and Wales were having this huge
There's such a strong metaphor there.
Yeah.
Such a strong metaphor.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to build bridges. We need to eschew those that would extol, you know, violence and hatred.
And we need to understand that people are different than governments.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you were watching this lovely
that's
couple.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
I watch different YouTube things to try to see. Well, first of all, I watch some things that I'm interested in and try to glean some information from different sources because I kind of like to. It's how I've learned everything that I've learned within the craft is I've kind of done like correspondences and seen what is this belief and what is this belief and what is this belief and what is the core of all of these things and how does that thread together and make this beautiful, you know, tapestry. But I've been watching a few different successful YouTube channels because obviously one of my goals is for us to have a successful YouTube channel. So
you guys can
please comment, and subscribe.
That like button. Do it now. Thumbs up. Do it now.
So I watch a guy and his wife in Canada who have Curiosity Inc. They have an antique store, and they do all kinds of rescues of houses and cars and things
It's
like
general
that.
fun. That's it. Pretty good channel.
It's
that.
great.
Pretty good
It's
channel,
very,
yeah.
very satisfying because you see him rescue things and transform them. And yeah, so he's got a very successful channel. So I kind of see, like how many times a week does he go on, and how is he presenting himself, and that kind of thing. And then I also watch a couple in Alaska. And they're just fascinating. They're like these little soulmates who decided they were going to leave the 48.
Sod it, yeah. Sod it. We're going to go live
48
in Alaska.
and go up to Alaska. And I love them because they have bees and chickens and big gardens, and they're very, very successful. And then, ironically, not too long ago, I started watching this little couple in Russia. And I can't remember his last name, but his name is Dan, and his channel is Dan something. And
We'll find it and put in the link.
they're
later.
just the sweetest little couple. And this was a few months back that I started watching them. And it took them like 10 years to build their house. And he did almost all the work himself. And they have this great little life, and they have a garden at her parents' house. And they have a really successful YouTube channel. Well, the last few days I've been watching them because I feel so bad for them, right?
You did mention they're Russian, right?
Yes, I did mention they're Russian, yeah. So I'm concerned that they're going to lose a big source of income because they can't monetize their channel anymore, if they're even going to be able to have a channel. And yesterday's episode that they put up, at the end of it, they were in a little cafe, and they said, please understand, we're just your average Russian people who wish the whole entire world good vibes and peace and happiness. And without saying what they really wanted to say,
kind of tricky to do that.
They were
in
trying
an
to say, hey,
regime,
this is not our fault, and we're going to suffer too. And most all of the people here just want peace. And I just felt so bad, so I think we all need to start kind of taking stock of how we have been prejudiced. Yeah,
manipulated to be prejudicial.
Right?
Yes,
because when we think about that word, it means prejudged.
it does.
Right? So I think people have kind of fallen into that space where they prejudge others based on things they can think of to point out as differences, and not recognizing how to point out the commonalities. We are the human race. This is the only planet we have to live on, regardless of whether they think they're going to put us somewhere else or not. But we have to save this planet, we have to be more environmentally sound, and we have to learn to take care of each other, no matter what race, creed, sexuality, whatever.
Color.
Human race. People, human race.
Yeah. The language you speak, the colour of your skin, the God you adore and worship, does this...
How you love and who you love, it doesn't matter.
Does this make any difference, really, in the grand scheme of things? We have a little poster up in our hall, and I think it's so beautiful. It's like how to build a world village.
A global village.
A global village.
That's been there. I've had that poster since
forever,
the 70s.
Forever. and it really is. It's like, listen to music you just don't understand. Dance to it.
Right?
Doesn't matter. I'm going to look embarrassing when I dance. Believe me. That's it. God, I could put that up on TikTok. That would be.
Oh yeah, that would go viral. Yeah, dad dancing on TikTok.
No, he's bad. Yes. But honestly, if we try to build bridges, if we embrace others, and I think one of the most beautiful things of the American dream, and certainly appealed to me as an Auslander, as a foreigner, and I'm from England, in case you hadn't clocked it, and our countries used to be at war. In case you hadn't clocked that too, we've not always been fuzzy and warm and light. But yes, so one of the things I love about America is purportedly the American dream. This idea that if you're prepared to knuckle down and do it, there's no obstacles in the way to you making an incredible success of your life, regardless of your level of privilege. You don't have to be born into money. You could do that. Well, that certainly used to be the case. Unfortunately, now there's been this I don't know, extreme right-wing xenophobia that's been pushed down people's throats, and in
out,
this
you're going to get
echo
very
chamber.
political.
I am, because we've been told to hate others. We've been told to despise these people. This is what's wrong in this world. No, the people who are telling you to hate others, that's what's wrong in the world, okay? The only thing we shouldn't tolerate is intolerance. And honestly, there's an acid test of whether something is true or not, and that is, am I coming at this, or is this coming from a place of love? If it's not going to work out well.
It may not be true or necessary. That's very Buddhist.
It's
Eastern philosophy.
It is. So, build bridges.
Is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind?
Yeah. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it even necessary?
Anyway. So that's what I'm saying. Unlock your potential.
Absolutely.
This is a great time of year. Spring forward, right? Even though I'm going to be messed up in my internal clock for a little while now.
I know. It's all too confusing.
Get your seeds ready for planting, and get your internal seeds ready for planting. Enjoy these next couple of full moons, the Virgo full moon, and then after that, the Libra full moon. And do like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't go anywhere yet. I've got to show you this. You're going to love this. All right. So for those of you that don't know, my dearly beloved.
Oh, that's for April's tarot scopes, but.
Just want to show you this. This is the language she speaks. All right. It's like some kind of strange code. This makes sense to her. This is my notes for what I'm going to speak about. What's going on?
No, this is my notes for today.
Poor Carol will have a fit.
These 3 things are my notes for today. This is my notes for April's tarot scopes, because it shows me where all the planets are and where they're moving and what signs they're in. So you can see that next month is going to be entertaining.
I can clearly see that.
Everything is all lumped up together in Aquarius and Pisces.
It's like the ramblings of a mad witch.
It is the ramblings of a mad witch.
It's like, this makes sense. But no, I wanted to come back and say, listen, now is a time of growth, but you can't have growth without vulnerability. You have to break through the confines of your prison, the seed that
you got to put down the roots and make them stable so that you can grow up tall. Yeah.
Yep, and there's that vulnerability. So at this stage, do we remain focused on our vulnerability?
Carol says, indeed.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Carol is the official scribe of our order,
and she's a Virgo.
And she's a Virgo,
and she tries to keep notes on everything that we do. So when we have our public circles, she's usually the one who's trying to collect all the papers.
What am I supposed to do with this
presented for the church? And sometimes I'll just hand her a few words on a napkin to file.
And that's a good day. That's a good day if it's a few words on a napkin.
Everybody else that presents is always
you get people that they produced a beautifully bound version of it, indexed with all sorts. No, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
No, it goes into our book because we are a legal 501c3. We are a legal church. We do keep a book of our rituals, of our gatherings. And I have to admit that I'm not always. I'm not always.
You make the rules, you don't follow them.
I'm not always proficient in handing in my paperwork, unless it's a scrap like this.
And if you can understand that, all I can say is, I just do what the voices in my wife's head tell me. Believe me, it's Miranda's cracking up. It's true, Miranda. It's true. But coming back to there's a time of great promise now. There's a time of great promise. We know the spring is coming. You can see the shadows shrinking quite dramatically. The closer we get to the equinox, and we're not that far away now, the faster the change. And so you can really see it get. I mean, obviously the clocks have sprung forward, so it's light at 7 o'clock at night.
Only one more chakra cycle and you're there.
Hey, it's like, woof, we're getting it. He's off on a tangent again, aren't you? I don't know. So, hold on to your chakras for a minute. So we're we are in a time of great promise. There really is great promise. There's so much that we can look forward to. You know, we got dumped on with snow yesterday or the day before. Can't remember which, but it was the day before. It was Saturday. We were shoveling yesterday because we were. Yeah, it was snowing all day Saturday, and we were teaching yesterday, so we managed to get a bit of shoveling in. You got a bit of shoveling. It did really well, actually.
I got to shovel for the first time in a long time because I've had my...
Well, you're feeling better.
Yeah, I've had my surgery, and I feel great. So I was out there. I shoveled the whole length of the driveway.
Don't overdo it. You know, a little at a time. Let's continue to improve, not send ourselves backwards. So yeah. You saw your first robin? I saw a robin ages ago.
We saw a robin here in bulk in the beginning of February,
Yeah, they've been a bit confused this year. But
yeah,
even though we got dumped on...
Blackbirds are back?
Oh yeah, I heard them the other day too. So even though we got dumped on, the sun angle is so high and it's going to melt really quickly, which is where Lisa's dad, Poppy, as we know him, lovingly know him. He was a fella.
He called it poor man's manure.
Yeah. He did because it was there and it's gone. You know, so this I believe the temperature is going to get to about 60 today or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
they said high 50s.
Yeah, it's going to melt an awful lot of what came down, which is good. You know, just now we're into mud season. Mud season and potholes.
Oh, but the potholes in New Paltz are a little crazy right now. There's one by Burger King that keeps popping people's tires.
sank a car to China in there, is it? Is that
yeah. I don't know why we have that saying.
I don't know, because
Volkswagen to China.
It's not opposite, is it? It's not. It's not the Antipodes, is it? Which is where the opposite point of the globe, isn't it? The Antipode.
It's a local place for local people. Anyway,
it's a local. As you can tell, I am local. No.
Are you local?
So, okay, we're referring to
a show called League of Gentlemen.
It's a UK show. I don't know if it's up on YouTube or anywhere, but this was quite it's odd.
League of Gentlemen. There's only three guys that play all the characters.
They play everything.
They have all these different segments of things, and it's
the hapless vet, the crazy, very mysterious butcher, don't know what meat he's selling. You know, it's anyway. So that's a story for another day. But yeah, now's a great time for potential for growth. Yeah, but hopefully we got our ducks in a row. We made sure we changed the oil on all of the stuff at the Leo full moon, the barren moon.
Change the oil.
Prepared.
In your hoe?
In your what? In your hoe?
Change the oil in your hoe. I said clean your shed.
Okay. Well, you know, if you've got an electric hoe, you might have a tiller. You know, these things, you maintain stuff. You know, sharpen your shears.
It's a time to get ready to let the seed pop of your potential.
So we've done all of that. Going. Now we are starting to. This is the time where the seeds are bursting. So we're starting to plant seeds. Some
people already have tomatoes this tall already.
Well, yeah, that's good. We would like to do that, but we have cats.
I need a greenhouse because the cats just destroy everything.
Yes. Oh, thank you for putting this for us to graze on. I bought my bunny some flowers the other day. The buggers have eaten them.
They've eaten some of them, yeah. I'm worried that they're going to get sick.
Well,
but anyway.
Doesn't seem to make it. Oh, they do get sick. They barf over everything, believe me.
All right.
Anyway, time for growth, time for great potential. All right. So, but with growth, the potential, there's that vulnerability. But embrace it. Be vulnerable. But above all, be kind, you know, and I think that's the thing that we can make in the world. I know a lot of people are really concerned about what's going on in the world right now.
But go out and say good morning to people and hold the door for people again, and be part of your community.
Nice. Be nice.
Be part of your community.
Don't get sucked into this maelstrom of negativity and hatred and hurt. Nothing good can come from that, okay? Nothing good can come from that. Instead, feed love and kindness into the mix. Lisa says, hold the door for somebody, you know?
Say good morning.
Let somebody cut in line, you know, in front of you.
Pay
you know?
It forward.
Exactly. Just do little things. Smile, maybe? Smile, you know, and this has this knock-on effect. This makes the world a better place. It really does. It brightens the corner where you are, you know, and good stuff can be just as effective as bad stuff. It's just, what are we spreading? What story? Which wolf are we feeding?
What I'm going to say is negativity tends to spread a lot quicker. I don't know why, but we need to overcome that.
It feeds on its own energy.
All right.
All right.
Big
Well,
day.
Big
Monday,
day.
Monday.
We got a lot of running around to do, so we're not going to be on for a full hour today. We're,
No, I was trying to close it.
I know
now.
this, but I thought we were a little too soon at under half an hour. So we've got to give some people a chance to watch. So we're over the half hour mark now. So I think we'll probably go and do all our fun running around and all that mad stuff we've got to do. So yes, tomorrow keep your eyes open for Tarot Talk. We've got that to go up.
Tarot Talk. Yep, if you want to learn the tarot, it'll be the next card in the deck.
Wednesday,
Live
we have
tarot
our
readings.
live tarot readings.
Come over to our YouTube station Wednesday night at 6 and you can ask a question.
Yes, indeed. And otherwise, we'll just be busy working on all sorts of fun and wonderful stuff.
Oh, there's going to be some hellaciously long box openings happening.
Oh, yeah, we got a ton of stuff coming. There's actually more stuff arriving today.
We haven't even unboxed the stuff that came Friday.
Well, yeah, we were supposed to do that, and then we got all buried in something else, and then there was something not working right that we had to fix, and then we had to, and then it snowed all day Saturday, so we lost a day Saturday, and then we were teaching Craft of the Wise yesterday, so we kind of lost that day. We lost an hour, which is like, for us, that's like, what are we going to do with that?
And then today's admin at the...
Miranda, yes, box opening.
Yes, box openings.
Oh, we got box openings for you, Miranda.
Yeah. Right now
we certainly do.
There's jewelry and pendulums and all kinds of like little figurines. There's this. We're going to be busy a while.
I should. When are we going to do the box openings?
I don't know.
I don't know, but let's take a couple of Mevos and do it on live stream. We'll do it on both.
Okay.
We can send it to both the Tube of You and the Book of Face simultaneously. We'll do that. You've given us a cunning plan. All right, so
we'll see you later, probably.
Thank you so very much. If you haven't hit that like button, could you do that right away, please? Thank you. We're depending on you. We
need to grow our channel.
We do. All right, guys. Have a beautiful, amazingly wonderful day. Be blessed and be kind. All right. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Peace out.